Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Sri Ramachandra did all the needed things for Dasharatha Maharaja when he gave the Jalatarpanas and all, and then again when Bharata asks him to come back to the kingdom, he very gently, rejects it. Okay, and now we'll be looking at one of the most important part of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. We are in a situation where all the Rajamatas, Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi have come to Chitrakuta, to the Parnashala in Chitrakuta in which Sri Ramachandra is living. Then we have Bharata also, we have Shatrughna, we have Vasishtha Mahamuni, we have the entire crowd of Ayodhya, we have the ministers, we have Sumantra, we have everyone seated there. And Bharata is now going to start his argument and he is going to ask Sri Ramachandra to come back. See, we all know in Ramayana that Bharata requests Sri Ramachandra to come back and Sri Ramachandra says no, but we never get to see the depth of the argument in the movies because of the time constraints and everything which prevail over there. Here let us make an attempt to understand how the argument actually goes through and how both these brothers push each other towards what they want. This is a very interesting statement to make, right? They push each other so that they get what they want. Bharata pushes Sri Rama to come back and become the king so that he can happily serve his brother, and Sri Ramachandra pushes back the argument towards Bharata and he says, no, you should not ask me to come back to Ayodhya. I have to ensure that father's word stays true. So this is the argument that is going to happen, and it goes in many wonderful directions. All that let us try to see in this episode and the episodes that are going to come after this. Now let's get back to the 105th Sarga of Ayodhyakanda of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. So all of them were there, all four brothers, they sat together and then they did not know what to speak. They were all very, very sad, and in the sadness, that night went away. People did not know when they fell asleep. In the morning, they all woke up, they did everything that was needed to be done, and now, when everybody was around, with everybody around him, with a complete conviction that Sri Ramachandra is going to listen to whatever he is going to say, Bharata now is starting his argument. He's saying, Santvita Mamika Mata Dattam Rajyam Idam Mama Taddadami Tavaivaham Bhungshva Rajyam Akantakam. My mother got this kingdom for me, O Sri Ramachandra. Now I am giving this kingdom back to you. So please take the kingdom and rule Ayodhya, rule this entire empire. Mahate Vambuvegena Bhinnas Petur Jalagame Duravaram Twadanyena Rajya Khandamidam Mahat. This is a huge kingdom, and he is comparing this huge kingdom with what? He is comparing this with a river whose dams are broken. Setu here is a bridge or a dam or something that stops the flow of water. That might be even on the banks also. So this kingdom is like a river whose dams are broken, a river which is in its full flow. Nobody other than you, O Sri Ramachandra, can take care of this kingdom. Hence, O Sri Ramachandra, please take care of this kingdom. That's what Bharata is again saying. Gathim kara ivasvasya tarkshasyena patantrinaham anugantum nasiktirme gatim tavamahipatehe. Here Bharata is putting himself down. In the first sloka itself he said, this is a huge kingdom, nobody else can control this kingdom other than you, so you take over the kingdom and you rule over the kingdom. That's the first thing that he said. Now the second thing that he's suggesting here, look how wonderfully he's saying. He's saying a donkey can never imitate the walk of a horse, and a small bird, it cannot imitate the way Garutmanta flies. Hence, O Maharaja, he is now addressing Sri Ramachandra as Maharaja, and he is saying, O Maharaja. So he is putting himself as the donkey, he is putting himself as that small bird. He is comparing Sri Ramachandra to a great horse, he is comparing Sri Ramachandra to the Garutmanta, and he is saying, I am so small in front of you, hence you should take over the kingdom, and it should not be me who is taking care of this kingdom. Sujivam nityastasya yah parair upajivyate ramatena tu durjivam yah paranupajivati. He's saying some people, they are always dependent on others for their own life. If someone is not dependent on anybody else for their life, that's a great life. Somebody who is dependent on others' lives for his life, he is living a durjiva, a very bad life. Oh Sri Ramachandra, in this world, many people plant trees. Now that tree would grow bigger, it becomes great, and it becomes a huge tree. It has a huge trunk, and now it's going to start giving the fruits. But then, if this tree doesn't give fruits, it has grown well, it has come to the age of giving fruits, but if it doesn't give fruits, that man will never feel happiness, right? Hence, our Father grew you up. Our Father ensured that you learn everything. He had high hopes on you that you would be the heir to the kingdom and you would take care of this kingdom. Now, if you, after becoming this Mahavruksha, if you are not giving the fruits to Father would definitely feel sad. Hence, you should come back and take over the kingdom because Father always wanted you to be the king. Oh Sri Ramachandra, the world needs happiness. So you come and take over as the king, the whole world will be happy. The traders will be happy. The people who make these wonderful shilpas, they will be happy. Who make these wonderful statues, they will be happy. All these people, when you come, when you are walking across the kingdom, O Sri Ramachandra, all these people are going to be happy, and that is what is wanted for anyone to be the king. This is what is expected out of anyone who becomes the king. You can keep everyone happy. Hence, O Sri Ramachandra, there is no other way for you but to come and be the king. And he's saying, Oh Sri Rama, that will make very many people happy, and let all the elephants walk behind you. Let people on elephants walk behind you. Let those elephants make wonderful sounds. Let all the women in the Antahpura be very happy because currently they are all in a state of anxiety. They all should become happy, and that will happen only with you, Sri Ramachandra. So you should come back and take over as the king. And then he is saying, in Ayodhya, there are a lot of people who want you to be the king. You should come back. Listening to this, all the people in Ayodhya, they immediately said, Bharata, you have really spoken what is needed. This is wonderful. This is what is needed. You have put the right argument forward. This is what all the people of Ayodhya said. Sri Rama, listen to this entire argument. So, what is the crux of this argument here? He is saying you are the best man to rule, hence you should rule. Two, he is saying Father always prepared you for this job, hence you should rule. Third, he is saying everybody in the kingdom will be very happy if you come and rule, hence you should rule. And all people of Ayodhya also want you as the king back, so you should rule. Everybody thought, who can break this argument? This is a wonderful argument. Now, Sri Ramachandra looked at him, he gave a smile, and he says, Natmanah kamakarosti purusho yamaniswaraha itaschetarathascheinam krutantah parikarshati. Sri Ramachandra is saying, O Bharata, no man in this world has independence to do everything by his choice, and it is not given as a capability also to each and every man on this earth to do everything by his choice. There are rules, and the way God moves you in a direction, you are supposed to move in that particular direction. You are saying that everybody will be happy, everybody will get a lot of money in my rule and all, right? But oh Bharata, remember this much. Even if you save a lot of money, that will obviously get destroyed at some point of time. Any person who is rising in life, he has to go back and meet the difficulties. If he is reaching the crest of the life, he will also reach the trough of the life. Hence, and you're all saying that all these people want me, but remember, Bharata, all these human relations also at any particular point of time or at one particular point of time, they too are all going to break because a person who is born has to die. You're telling that, There is a fruit tree, there are a lot of fruits. What will happen if the tree is not giving the right fruits at the right time? But remember this much, even for a tree which has got a lot of fruits, those fruits might fall down and be of no use to anyone. And for a tree that has grown up there, it will always have a fear that its roots might fall down. The way fruits fall down from a tree, death is certain for human. Now you might be wondering, why is Sri Rama building an argument on death right now? He is going to come, he is going to reveal it, but he'll take time to reveal it because he's trying to get the whole argument proper. So he's indirectly or indirectly bringing death as a subject at the start itself. He initially said no person has his own individual rights, because he's saying that I am governed by the word that the father has given. Probably that's what he might say, but let us see. And then he's saying, you're talking about shilpis, you're talking about businessmen and all. Businessmen will create business empires. Wonderful architects, they build wonderful buildings. These great shilpacharyas, they'll create wonderful statues. But you remember this much, when you build a building, however strong you build it, after some time everything there becomes weak and the building will collapse. Similarly, all humans are going to die. And you remember one more thing, Bharata, the night that has passed, Atyeti Rajniyatu Sana Pratinivartate Yatyeva Yamuna Purna Samudramuda Kakulam. The night that has passed away yesterday, it's not going to come back. The river Yamuna, which is filled with water, the once that water moves into the sea, the water is not going to come back into Yamuna. Hence, on a daily basis, people are losing Ayurdaya. Please understand this, Bharata. And you are losing Ayurdaya on a daily basis, but please understand that you are constantly traveling with the death itself, because it doesn't matter how long you travel, death will finally take you. Now, oh Bharata, every moment we always think that okay, this new thing has come in, hence we'll be very happy and all. But then when the season changes, we need to realize that our Ayurdaya is going away. Oh Bharata, यथा काष्ठं च काष्ठं च समेयातां महार्णवे समेत्य च व्यपेयातां कालमासाद्य कंचन एवं भार्याश्च पुत्राश्च ज्ञातयश्च धनानि च समेत्य व्यवधावन्ति ध्रुवो हेषां विनाभवः. In a huge ocean, there may be two sticks that come together. They might float for some time, and after some time, they again go in their own ways. Similarly, wives, children, our bandhujana, money, all these things will come at one point of time and will go away at another point of time. In this example, the underlying message to Bharata is that even the kingdom would come, you might become the king one day, but you might have to lose the kingdom also one day. Hence, it is not important that only one person comes and takes over the kingdom. Indirectly, he is drilling this point into Bharata, and Bharata is getting it. And again, he is saying, because of all these, because death is a certain thing, we should never, and we can't take life for granted. None in this world has a right to think that they are going to live forever and they would do whatever they want. Every prani in this world is bound to certain conditions. And what are those conditions? That was defined previously. O Bharata, yada hi sardham gachantam bruyat kaschit padhit stitah aham apyagamishyami prishtato bhavatamithi evam purvairgatah margaha पितृपैतामहो ध्रुवः तमापन्नः कथं सोचेत् यस्य नास्ति व्यतिक्रमः. We are all like travelers, and somebody might say, I will be walking behind you. Similarly, we also are walking in the paths of our fathers and our forefathers. And if someone is walking in this path, why should he be feeling sad and why should he be crying? After telling Bharata that everything is ephemeral in life and death is certain, we might all be wondering why Sri Rama did all this till here. Here he is touching the most important point. He is saying, Dharmatma cha subhai krutnaihi kratubhischapadakshinaihi swargam dasharatha praptaha pitana prithvipatihi. Our father Dharmatma, who is Dasharatha Maharaja, he ruled the kingdom very well. he followed the Shastras to perfection. He did a lot of yajnas, and then he made a decision. And this is the decision that we are all supposed to honor. Bhrutyananja bharanat samyat prajanam paripalanat ardhadanascha dharmena pita nastri divangataha. Because of doing all those kratus, yajnas and all, he has already reached Swarga. The other reasons why he was able to go to Swarga was he took care of the people whom he needed to take care of. The way he had to rule the people, he ruled them in that particular way, and he always collected taxes in a very, very justified way. Hence, he reached to Swarga. कर्मिभिस्तु सुहैरिष्टैः क्रतुभिश्चापदक्षिणैः स्वर्गं दशरथः प्राप्तः पितानः पृथ्वीपतिः. He did all those good things, he did all those great yajnas, yagas, hence he went to Swarga. O Bharata, now please understand, you need not really worry about Dasharatha Maharaja because he definitely went to Swarga. I don't know why you are crying this much. Yes, we lost our father, but don't be very, very sad about him. He has already reached Swarga. And Sri Ramachandra is saying, Yete Bahuvidha Sokaha Vilapa Tadha Varjaniya hi Dhirena Sarva Vastasu Dhimata. I see that you are crying unconsolably. First leave this crying, first leave this sorrow, because the sorrow is shrouding your judgment of Bharata. Hence, one thing that you need to understand is from the time you came here, you are crying about father's death. I told you that death is permanent, it touches every person. So first leave the extreme shoka which you are having, extreme sadness that you are having for father's death. First you leave it, and because of that your judgment, because you are totally filled with sorrow, your judgment regarding father's wishes is also shrouded. You are not able to take a right judgment. Oh Bharata, please understand, it was his choice. Father has already made a choice. Saswasto bhava. He's saying first you become swastha. First get your mental abilities back on track, O Bharata. Then ma shoko. Don't cry. Yatva chavasatam purim. You go back to the kingdom. You are currently not in the best state of mind. You are crying that father has left us. But I have made it very clear to you that death is permanent. I have already made it very clear to you that our father is in Swarga. He has just left this material body. He has got a great body with which he is in Swarga. So you go back and start thinking as to why father has made this decision, and then you will appreciate the logic behind it. Currently you are not in the right state of mind is what Sri Ramachandra is pushing down to Bharata. Yatraham niyukta punyakarmana tatraivaham karishyami pituraryasya sasanam. He gave me one job, he gave you another job, and for me there is no other go except to follow what father has told. Namaya sasanam tasya tyaktum nyayamarindama tvatyayapi sadamanyam savai bandhu sanah pita. O Bharata, I can't break the order that my father has given to me, and you too. Once you come out of this sorrow, you too will be able to see things clearly, and you too should not cross the line that our father has drawn for both of us. He is our father, and O Bharata, I should stay in this forest because it was my father's order, and I will finish those 14 years here only. And he's saying, you first try to understand how great our father was. And yes, you are telling me that he grew a fruit tree, he has to get the fruits and all. Forget all that, but finally it was he who made the decision. It was he who gave the word. Hence, the decision is already made, and I should stay in the forest only. Remember, Rama started the whole conversation saying that we all do not have our own individual rights. No man in this world has all the unlimited freedoms to think and do whatever he thinks. So now he is ending the argument also with this by saying, "Oh Bharata, I too don't have the independence to do whatever I wish to do. You too don't have the independence to do whatever you wish to do. You are supposed to go back and rule. Simply follow father's orders, because he ordered us not just as a father but also as Maharaja." All the people around now thought, "Oh, wonderful." They said, "Sri Ramachandra, your argument is wonderful." Now Bharata, he looked at all the people around and said, "Okay, Let me do one more try, and how is Bharata going to try it out once again? That we'll be seeing in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om sarvam sukhi sasmara swam charanaravindar padamastu. Swasti.